We are living in the most documented, most romanticized era in human history. Never before have we had so many tools to express love. Yet, never before has love felt so much like a transaction. We call it love, but often what we are actually engaging in is a performance. It is an unconscious act designed not to express affection, but to ensure survival. Performative love is the gap between what we feel and what we display. It is the bouquet bought out of guilt, not desire. It is the social media post designed to prove happiness rather than capture it. It is saying, "I love you," because it is the expected response, not because the words are bursting out of you. To understand why we do this, we have to abandon the idea that we are fake people. We are not. We are survivors, and the way we love as adults is often just a replica of the way we learned to survive as children. The origin of the survival self. Human beings are born helpless. As children, our primary, unconscious goal is not happiness, it is safety. We need to secure the attachment of our caregivers to survive. If a child senses that love is conditional, they will adapt. They will create a self that is acceptable. These are referred to as survival personalities, a mask we wear to manage the emotional environment of our childhood. Imagine a household where a parent is volatile. A child learns very quickly that being small, quiet, and helpful reduces the chance of an explosion. That child isn't being manipulative. They are ensuring they don't get abandoned. They learn that love is something you earn by behaving. Alternatively, imagine a household where a parent is emotionally absent. A child might learn that the only way to get a hug or a glance is to achieve, to get an A+, to win the game, to be exceptional. They learn that love is a prize for performance. These adaptations are brilliant. They work. They get the child through a difficult environment. But the problem is that the brain does not automatically take the mask off once the danger passes. We carry these survival strategies into the boardroom, into the friendship circle, and, most destructively, in romantic relationships. How it shows up. A male example. For men, performative love is often coded in the language of provision and stoicism. The survival personality for many boys is built around the idea that to be loved, you must be useful. You must be the rock. You must not have needs, because needs are a burden. In a romantic relationship, this manifests as a man who provides everything except vulnerability. He will work overtime to pay for the vacation. He will fix the sink, change the tire, handle the logistics of life. He believes he is showing love through action and sacrifice. But if his partner asks, "What are you afraid of?" or "What do you need from me?" the silence is deafening. He cannot access the answer. Why? Because his survival personality taught him that expressing a need is dangerous. As a boy, if he showed weakness, he might have been mocked or ignored. So he performs the role of the provider. He confuses being needed with being loved. When the relationship eventually fails due to emotional distance, he is left confused. "I gave them everything," he says, and he did. He gave them the performance. He just never gave them himself. How it shows up, a female example. For women, performative love is often coded in the language of emotional labor and people-pleasing. The survival personality for many girls is built around the idea that to be loved, you must be agreeable. You must manage the emotional temperature of the room. You must be easy, fun, and low maintenance. In a romantic relationship, this manifests as a woman who suppresses her own reality to keep the peace. She will laugh at jokes she doesn't find funny. She will say, "I'm fine," when she is crumbling. She will shrink her own needs to make sure she isn't too much. She becomes the perfect girlfriend. She supports his dreams. She forgives quickly. She never makes a scene. She is performing the role of the caregiver or the cool girl. But over time, resentment builds. She realizes that she has been loving him in a way she has never been loved herself, completely. Why does she do this? Because her survival personality taught her that her own feelings were dangerous. As a girl, if she expressed anger or need, she might have been labeled difficult or been rejected. So she learned to perform agreeableness. She confuses being perfect with being loved. The tragedy of the mask. The tragedy of performative love is that it often works, at least for a while. It attracts partners, it builds the perfect relationship on paper. But a mask cannot love another mask. The man performing stoicism attracts a woman who wants to feel taken care of. The woman performing agreeableness attracts a man who wants an easy life. They form a contract, not a connection. They are two survival personalities co-signing each other's illusions. Eventually, reality breaks through. A crisis happens. A job is lost. A baby is born. A parent dies. In these moments, the performance fails. The stoic man doesn't know how to comfort because he was never allowed to learn. The agreeable woman doesn't know how to ask for help because she was never allowed to have needs. They look at each other and say, "I don't recognize you anymore." But the truth is, they never recognized each other at all. They only recognized the masks. The rewiring. So, how do we stop performing? We cannot simply take the mask off. It was glued on by survival. Instead, we have to build safety. The first step is awareness. You have to catch yourself in the act. Notice when you say yes when you mean no. Notice when you hide a struggle to appear strong. Notice when you silence an opinion to keep the peace. Ask yourself, am I doing this to connect, or am I doing this to survive? The second step is grieving. You have to grieve the fact that you needed this mask in the first place. It kept you safe. Thank it. But recognize that the old danger is gone. The parent who needed you to be quiet is not in the room. The peers who mocked your sensitivity are not watching. The third step is small, terrifying acts of authenticity. The man admitting he is scared. The woman admitting she is angry. These confessions are the antidote to performance. They may feel like jumping off a cliff, but they are the only way to find out if you can be loved for who you actually are. Conclusion. The real work. Real love is not a performance. It is not a clean house, a perfect photo, or a stiff upper lip. Real love is ugly. It is messy. It is asking for help when you don't want to. It is staying present during an argument instead of dissociating. It is allowing your partner to see you before you've had a chance to put the costume on. The survival personality kept you alive, but it cannot keep you loved. The real work of intimacy is not becoming a better actor. It is having the courage to walk off the stage.